My recollection is that it was a Saturday, that it may or may not have been. The reason I think it was a Saturday because I was there and not rushing off to do my daily program at WREC. I know that it was very, very hot in the studio. There was no air conditioning unit out in the front part of the office. The money for the air conditioners had to go for the studio and for the recording equipment. So it was very, very hot out there. In the earlier accounts of this, there was a little gap of something that I didn't remember. And later Sam's brother Judd reminded me of what had actually happened. And it was that while I was setting up to record the record, Sam, Judd, and Jim Bullitt, who was Sam's partner at the time, came out of the back of the studio where they'd been having a conference and went through the control room. And I remember turning to Sam and saying, "Do you want to do this?" And he said very abruptly, having his mind on other things, "Can't you see I'm busy?" And went out, and they went next door to Miss Taylor's to have a quick cup of coffee. Finally, I decided that I would go and make the record myself. So I thought, oh, I want Sam to hear this. Sam's been saying he wanted to find a white man who sounded black, and I felt that's what was happening here. Actually, something more than that was happening, but that's what I heard, that he sounded black to me. So I looked around wildly for somewhere, and there was an old paper tape that was lying there, and while I was still making the record, I reached out with one hand and picked up the tape and put it on and turned it on so that it would record simultaneously. I guess I was out front typing up the label, which I did, paste it on the thing. And when Sam came back, I'm not sure whether he went to the back, and I told him I wanted to listen to this. I'm not sure whether I had left the disc on there while I was waiting to label it, and he may have played part of the disc, or whether he played the tape. In any case, he did listen to a portion of it. And he said, well, yeah, he has potential, but we're too busy. So I wrote down on a little slip of paper, Elvis Presley, good ballad singer, and a telephone number where he could reach, and wrote save on it, and I put it under my desk blotter. The time went by. I don't know how much time. When you're working on those conditions, time doesn't mean anything. You don't know you're making history. You're not making hourly notes, Time went by, and I came in from doing my show, and Sam was there, and there was a note stuck on the spindle, and it said, Elvis Presley had a telephone number, good ballad singer, save. And I went back, I said, did that kid with the sideburns come in here again? And he said, well, that fellow's name, yeah. And even at the time, Sam didn't seem to have any recollection of the earlier incident, which now he has said really didn't happen. Well, even at the time, he didn't remember. So on this occasion, which I recall as the second occasion that Elvis was in there to make another record, Sam and Elvis were alone in the studio because I was out doing my daily thing at the radio station. As far as who gets the credit, if you will, or as far as who did what, that's the sequence as I remember it. And actually, the breakthrough for Elvis and for all of those the things that happened was one very rainy Saturday afternoon when just Sam and I were there, and Sam decided to tackle a huge stack of demo records that various persons had sent in, and immediately I said, what about the kid with the sideburns? And Sam said, oh yeah, he might, but I don't remember his name. I don't know how to get in touch with him. And I said, picking up my blotter, I do.